And so I'd like to, hey, Cyrus, are you here? Now it's about time we have Cyrus, and then tonight we are going to juice him out. We are going to squeeze him to get every juice we need um to go about our own business, to go about those of us who have this inclination towards being a media person, combining architecture with that part of life and all that. Mr. Cyrus is here to give you the tips and all that you need to know. Um, and so, hey, Cyrus, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
I see you, and you're doing fantastic. Charlie, thanks
Thank
for
you.
staying all through to this time. It's getting more insightful and insightful. It is good to have you on your team. Now, I would like you to, tell us about architecture, like I did with the other speakers. Your journey through architecture, and then as you are going through your side hustle too, or maybe it's not your side hustle. You have to clarify that.
Okay, good evening once again. I'm happy. I'm very happy to be part of this. It's nice to see young people coming together and sharing ideas, like I was saying earlier. I'd like to say, or I would have loved to have a nice story like uh, Josephine and McAfee, where they knew they would be architects from kindergarten.
Right.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for me, right? I wanted to be a doctor or, something in the medical sciences. And
Oh,
then it was during my time in senior high school that I realized that no, I like technical drawings. I like, construction. I like design. I like creative things. Let me put it that way in quote, creative things. So why don't I just choose something in that regard. And a senior brother of mine is an architect. Uh, he advised me that architecture is a perfect blend between art, science, business, everything. It trains you holistically. So that is where my passion for architecture came from. And subsequently, it has been a very interesting path for me because everything architecture trains you in such a way that you become kind of well versed in almost everything, business, whatever field that you can touch on, whatever thing that whatever field, it has its base in architecture. So for me, that is my path to the architecture. And then there are other businesses that I do on the side, as you have already mentioned. uh, right out of school, out of SHS, I used to sell actually. I liked the process of trading, the process of buying and selling for profit. And then eventually that led to me becoming more outspoken. I used to be very shy, but the process of selling, the process of, you know, uh, meeting new people brought about this change in me that I decided that okay, I'm going to sell more, I'm going to explore more. And then about second year or third year, I got introduced to, cameras. And that changed my life. I'm not gonna lie, that changed everything about me. Because the process of capturing images, at first I used to view it in the colloquial terms that okay, you just point and then whatever you see, you shoot. But then as I learned more about it, I realized that there's a certain beauty to it that only comes about if you take your time to study photography, to study the art side of photography. There are a lot of architects throughout history actually that have combined other art forms to architecture to become who they are. And even among the student body, I can see that passion in a lot of people. Nakoshi Hagan, Josephine, McCaff, all of them, they are all trying to combine arts, combine, a certain creativity or a certain creative aspect of their lives to the architecture, and it blends in perfectly. And if you want to go on this journey, I would not discourage you, because if you even examine the famous architects that you know, Zaha at a point went into fashion, right? Foster has designed some products for Apple, right? Lloyd Wright has done some philosophy, has done a lot of things. And all these different creative abilities come together to make them better architects. Yeah. So for me, it has been a nice journey. And then I transitioned from, shooting point and shoot to drone photography. I think when I was a TA, that's when I got the exposure to drones. And it's interesting. Dr. Marfo got a project that was from Ghana Tourism Authority, where we had to visit about 9 regions and document tourist sites. So we went to like over 200 tourist sites from Ashanti region all the way up north with a drone. And then that is where I had that appreciation of how drones work and how drones can be used to tell a story. And the stuff that I post online are just for the commercial aspect, but for architecture, relating this to architecture, there's a whole different world of drones that I feel like at least every architect should know a bit of. Even if you won't learn it, you have to know that these are the possibilities. For example, we used to use drones for mapping. The drones will pre-plan our flight route, will take the images and then merge it together. It will give you, if you import it into a software called Agisoft Metaverse, it will give you the topography, it will give you, and nowadays, if we have big sites where you will need, the services of surveyors and whatnot, that drone mapping or that 3D spatial mapping can give you that 3D of that site. So that is the architecture aspect of it. Then I moved to the fine arts aspect of it. Eventually, I left campus, I left to Accra to start my own life. And I said, okay, I did some big PP and I got some money. And I was like, okay, let me get a drone. And at the time, it was crazy expensive for me because at the time, I think it was 1,200. Yes, $1,200. I bought it, I finished, I looked at my account, I was like, nah, this can make sense. So in like the 3 to 4 weeks it took for them to ship it from USA to Ghana, I was like, everything that I need to learn about drones to better my craft, I'm going to learn it. And then I did. And then gradually, the drone arrived, and then I started taking pictures. I was like, okay, this is a saturated market, right? There are thousands and thousands of drone pilots, there are thousands and thousands of architects. As you've realized, as you yourself, you were coming to architecture school, look at the number that came and look at the number that left. What will make your work different? I was like, okay, instead of going to, destinations, I'm just going to show the places that we are used to in a different form and manner, right? And then that bet, the brand Cyrus Wiredu in that regard. When it comes to the architecture aspect too, I was very fortunate. I would say, I'm not going to sit here and be ungrateful. I was very, very fortunate to get a boss or to get an employer who understands these things. So there's a perfect balance between working here, in the architectural aspect, and then managing my side hustles. So basically, that has been, a mix of the two. Aside that, when it comes to personal life, I think, I don't know which areas you want me to touch on, but combining the two, Yes,
Right.
combining the two is not easy because you have opposing forces. You have architecture being very demanded. Currently, we are working on a project in Konongo on the Accra Road, and uh, I also have my family here. My wife and I we stay in Accra, so it's like I have to be in Konongo from Monday through to Friday. On Saturday, Sunday, I have to be in Accra, right? So combining the two is not easy, but at the end of the day, we still have to make it work. And so far, it has been very good. It has been very productive
Wow.
for me. So I'm going to end it here. I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to end it here, and then I'm going to welcome your questions
Okay.
so that we take it from there. Yeah.
Mm. Fantastic points made. I mean, I have a lot of questions, but I've written so much down. But now looking at my questions, unless you didn't pay attention, because you touched almost on everything that I asked.
Yeah.
It's good that being, for me, I would like to regard you as a media person because these kind of
Mhm.
jobs you do and all these things, I mean, more
Then,
of a media person. So I'm so happy to learn that being a media person has actually made you a better architect. Understanding
mhm,
the other ways where every architect should be able to own a drone, how to do this 3D mapping and all those things and all the software that comes with it, learning it. I think every architect really needs to listen to this. And if this is recorded, it has to be shared so that they
mhm.
come to understanding of all these things. Visiting about 200 tourist sites in Ghana. Very, very, very impressive. I mean, I like to travel, but this one, too much.
It was
So it's
crazy. It was a
yeah,
crazy
yeah, I
time.
mean, so okay, 200 tourist sites in how many days, how many weeks, how many months?
We were in two teams, and I was managing the mapping, the media, and all that aspect.
Mm,
So I think we did it in like 3 weeks. There were different times, there were different phases. So we did the first phase, which was like 2 weeks, and then we did the second phase too, which was like 2 weeks. And then so it's not like you are going there to chill. Oh. When you get there, you just touch down, you do your questionnaire, you take your pictures,
mm,
and pass, you go.
mm.
So
I
it
mean,
wasn't. I won't really say I went to still in 200 stories. I don't know. It
mm,
was just data. We were gathering data and that kind
great.
of stuff. Some you just spend 10 minutes and you pack, you go. Eh, There was a whole itinerary for that. Yes.
Unbelievable. I mean, how can you explain to anyone that you visited 200 tourist sites, not as a tourist? How can you even explain this one?
Right, 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 right. Yeah,
And I mean, working,
that's
I understand the
yes,
pressure that comes with it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's fantastic. I mean, you've spoken about these things, and then I mean,
Mhm.
this side has all this part of the career, and then the architecture. How are you able to satisfy clients from both sides?
Yes. So when it comes to the thing is that let me chip this one in that a lot of us have the passion, but that doesn't necessarily transfer into wealth. So how do you make the passion that you have? For example, you want to be an architect, or you want to be a painter, you want to be a musician, you want to be a pastor, whatever. How does that transfer into wealth for you? That is the pragmatic approach that you have to view these things in. That okay, whatever I'm doing, at the end of the day, it is you have to get money to be able to fuel whatever passion that you have. And as part of that, you have clients that you have to satisfy. I'm going to start with the drone aspect. For the drone aspect, for example, I learned the stuff from rudimentary level. I was able to understand it, and then that gave me a bigger portfolio to market myself to other, prospective clients. There are various forms of, getting clients. Some you can meet through referrals. Some can meet you through your website. Some can meet you through your social media pages, right? And then with regards to how you satisfy them, first of all, make sure that you establish the deliverables. The same things that are in architecture that carry on to any other business. You have a clear cut, well written list of variables that, okay, this is what I'm going to, this is the product I'm going to give you. This is how I'm going to deliver it. This is the amount of time that I'm going to deliver it in. At the end of the day, what exactly are you going to give them? You have to state all that. Then you come to the pricing. There are various forms of pricing when it comes to these things that we do. I have clients that I have put them on retainer. So, for example, for someone like Jeff Traku, big company, they saw my work, they approached me, and I said, okay, I'll do this work for you, but I want to be put on a retainer. That okay, for as long as this partnership lasts between us, everything that has to do with your area, I'm going to do it for you. There are other people, too, that come and then you give them a lump sum and then they are okay with it. So there's no one way that you can satisfy all clients. If I say I have the secret to that, I'll be lying. So there are different aspects that you can touch on when it comes to various clients, right? But at the end of the day, just like architecture, with our work, you can't really advertise. Your work will advertise for you, right? So that should be your end goal. That okay, this is how I'm going to put myself across. And then when it comes to the architecture aspects too, a lot of times, the people that I deal with in the architecture aspect don't even know anything about my media aspect unless I tell you. Right? I have 2 separate pages that I make sure I don't mix anything there. Right? I barely post my face on my drone page, and I barely post any drone stuff on my architecture page, just to create that separation of those 2 income streams, right? So, I mean, to answer your question, the satisfaction of the clients is very client specific.
Wow.
Okay. That clears it up.
Yeah, it clears it up. I mean, it's client specific and it's understandable. I mean, if you want to satisfy your client, then it's really relatable to how your clients want you to be. And I agree 100% agree with you on that one. Yes. I have more questions to ask, but I don't want to exhaust all my questions. So I'm going to we've got into the main Q&A session, and if you have any question, this is the part that you have to ask. And because of that, I'm really going to do a roll call now. And I'm doing a roll call because I've been mentioning some random names. Okay. Hey, Abex Pobi. Hey, Pobi, what's up? It's good to have you here. Wow, Pobi. And then Erama Sapon. Okay. Hey. Okay. See, Nakoshi. Okay, so Nakoshi is here. Francis is here. Franklin, Frida, and then there's another person called iPhone. Hi, iPhone. And then just been Edu. Okay, that's the same. All right. Then Kelvin, Kobe, Edu. Okay, let me just mention those we get you. And then another Priscilla. Okay, and then Sarah Jacob. Oh, another entrepreneur is here. Okay, Sarah is here. And then C. Okay, so we have reached the point where you'd have to ask your questions. And let me just read some comments we have here. Someone says that architecture school fails to teach us to consider architecture as a business is so true. I mean, this is a serious thing, and that is why it's very important that at some point we need to have you industry people, especially those you people here right now, to come by the department. ASAG is really I'm going to push for ASAG to organize programs that will make you guys come talk to the students for them to take architecture as a business and not just an academic field. I think when we get to that stage, you all and I can come. I'm really hoping that you will be free and make someone says we were told not to despise small beginnings, but not necessarily to start small though. Oh, I think we all agree with this and understand what he's trying to say, right? They said we should start small, but it doesn't mean that if you can start big, you should start small. I mean, Cyrus, you agree with me on this one, don't you?
Oh yes, most definitely. I mean, start with what you have, right?
Mm.
So, but do it with excellence. I think that's what the person is trying to do. Anything that you are doing, do it with excellence. Don't say start small, so you are going to just be mediocre. Do
Mm.
everything with excellence.
Mm. Okay. And Kevin says that it's very true that architecture is inherently holistic, but its business dimension is being overlooked. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, most definitely. I think a lot of architects die poor. Have you noticed?
Mm. Yeah.
Ever since I
And
left school, I sometimes look at I sometimes look at, and this is by no means a disrespect to their profession,
no, no,
but I
no,
look at
no.
someone and then they tell me that, oh, I've been practicing architecture for 20 years, and they don't have even more money than someone who is selling iron rods. Why?
Mm. Mm.
Because they've learned the art of business, right? Josephine made a very powerful point that if you are here, you can do working drawings. You've done housing for 6 years. You've designed a lot of people's houses. And someone
Mm.
tells you that this project that you are doing for me, roughly how much will it cost? And you can't say it,
Mm.
right? That means that there's a certain level of disconnect between what you are learning or what you are doing and then the
Mm.
business aspect of it.
Right.
You can be
Right.
very talented, but it will not translate into wealth for
Mm-hmm.
you. Exactly.
Yeah. I get it. Okay. That's. I mean, I agree on you on that too. I mean, tonight has been an insightful session. Almost everything that we are hearing here are not things that we were privy to know whilst in school. This kind of wisdom and knowledge only comes when you are the other side of the wall. And so it's important that we have students join us and then some people
Yeah.
from industry also being part of it. I mean, they can confirm that is true. And Priscilla Awuye has a hand up. So Priscilla, please, you can unmute your microphone and ask what you want. Hello, Priscilla. I see your hand up. Makafi, I see your hand up, but let me take Priscilla
Hi.
first.
Yeah. So thank you for this session. I
All right.
I want to ask Cyrus. He said he manages the architecture business separately and then the photography separately. So is it the same person who operate both social media? And then if how many social media is he on? Is it Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social media, or he just advertises his things on just one social media? And then is it being managed by another person or himself?
Okay. Thank you for the question. I manage all the pages myself. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn, not so active. I do Twitter as well. I manage the pages by myself. Usually, with what Meta is doing these days is making it very easier for creators to manage their pages because they can group the queries that are business based for you, and then they can group other stuff too for you, and then to ensure that a lot of the DMs that are coming in translate into actual businesses. What I do is that I migrate them to a separate number which I keep specifically for drone stuff, right? So when they come there, I can take it up and then follow up, or I can give it to my wife, and then my wife will chat with them, and then we see where it takes from, where it gets from there. So yeah, I manage all myself.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Priscilla, I
Right.
hope I hope I answered you.
Yeah, first I hope you answered.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
fantastic.
please. And then I have a follow-up. So
Okay.
how do you, so is it that, let's say you have work during the day, so how do you chat your customer? Do you chat them in the evening or during the day you go online from time to time to look through your
Okay.
messages?
Okay. So the issue of messages, yeah, for I think where I'm active most is Instagram because I was able to get a high audience there. Anytime any of my posts do so well, I get an influx of people who make queries. So basically, what I usually do is that at a certain point in the day, I just make sure that I don't mix the two. At a certain point in the day, let's say when I come back from work, I sit on this very table. I can check the messages that, oh, okay, this one, what is this person looking for? And I make sure that I keep the messages very brief and very succinct. If not, you end up doing a whole lot of things. And then I group them. I group them. I wish I could share my screen, but I group them into this one is a business query. This one is just, oh, nice job, nice this. Can I get your number? And so on. There are other people too that, want to learn. And I mean, if anyone here wants to learn, I'm always available. I shoot often. I'm always available. There are other people that also want to learn. There are certain things that I cannot do on my own. So for such people, I partner with other creators. There's a creator here in Accra, a wedding kind of, creator. He's very well known in Accra, who has an academy where he trains other creatives. I can partner with them, and then we give them tutorials. So I make sure that if you are not able to, if you feel like the mixing will be difficult for you, right? Because that's where the problem is, that you are going to spend so much of the time your employer is paying you for doing your private stuff. Then make sure that you sit down, reassess, and plan well before you get into it. Don't try to mix the two. Work time is work time. If you see me on site with my dirty boots and my high vis, there's nothing like drone. If you see me on a weekend chilling, you can say hi. That's how usually it is. Yeah. So just to recap, just don't mix the two. Find it, balance first before you get into it.
All right.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you,
okay.
Priscilla.
Thank you.
All right, Priscilla.
Okay. All right. So, Makafi, I see your hand up.
Okay, Cyrus, one
Yeah.
thing I want to really understand is that, you see, it seems apart from you, Josephine and I has been doing architecture like a side job right now. So, and I don't think it's only us. There are a lot of people after school, they get to realize that the promise that we had from first year, that architecture is a good profession, we make a lot of money, and then we come to realize that we are not getting the amount of money, or even we have issue with our employers in terms of payments and even PPs, charging and other things. So I wanted to find out from you if you've been able to notice some of the reasons why people get disappointed after school and then try to do something else, or is the specific components when it comes to the business aspects of the architecture that people are not really paying attention on, or people have not been taught to consider in their practice after school. I don't know if you get my point, or do you see some of these mistakes, and then also what is the new trend that you see in the new business model in terms of architecture?
Okay.
I don't know if
Thank
my
you.
point is clear.
Yeah, it's very clear. Thank you very much, Makafu. It buttresses the point that the question that Priscilla was asking. You have a lot of mouths to satisfy. One, you have your wife, your mother, your children, right? For those married and the family people. Two, you have your boss. Three, you have your own side hustle to satisfy. Now you realize that after school, there's a lot of discrepancy in regards to your remuneration, how much you're expected to be paid, right? You did 6 years of architecture. You come out and then someone is telling you that, hey, I'm going to pay you 3,000 Ghana cedis for an entire month. You look at it, and then you look at yourself, and you're like, how? You go to site, you wear your suit, your whatever, you do your makeup, you go to site, and then you realize that the mason is taking 150 cedis. Multiply that by 30 days. It's any more than you. And then that resentment starts to set in. And then you know the hours that architecture takes. You start your work at 8 a.m. Those are 5 p.m. You literally have no time for yourself. But even for most people, their work even goes beyond the 5 p.m. Your weekends, you are told to go to site, right? So after school, that's where a lot of, and if students are here, I don't want to say this to discourage you, because there's an alternative, right? There's something we call work-life balance, right? And we have to have that work-life balance. For example, like I was saying earlier, your mason is making more than you, who after all your 6 years in school, you are being paid 3,000. Your rent and everything is even more than 30,000 per month, right? So at the end of the day, having a side hustle as a young architect is a fundamental something. You just can't avoid it. That's the gospel truth. I wish I could sugarcoat it, but you just can't afford it, right? Secondly, I would say that live within your means. Live within your means. You can make all the money in the world, right? But if you cannot, or you are easily fooled into all these social media unnecessary pressure, you end up having yourself in a fix. McCaffrey was saying something very interesting earlier about how he was even able to finance his project. If you ask me, I will tell you how I was able to finance it. Because at this stage, that's what a lot of people are thinking about. That I want my car key, I want to get married, I want to do all those things, right? So, secondly, to live within your means. Thirdly, this to me is I feel like I've said it a lot this evening, but delineate between them that, okay, this is the goals that I've set for architecture, right? At the start of the week, I go to site, I do this, I do that, I do that. Just as you are serious with your architecture career, whatever side hustle that you are doing, be very serious with it too. Learn from people, right? Be very serious with it. Just like you go to your boss will ask you that, do this working drawing for me, or whatever PP that you are doing, they'll request for it. The same, we apply the same level of excellence to your whatever side hustle that you are doing. And the side hustle, it doesn't have to, you don't have to do drone, you don't have to sell shoes, you don't have to do automation, you don't have to do coding and all those things. The thing that you are passionate about, right? If you know that you know how to code, learn marketing. If you know how to model. If you know how to play an instrument, if you know how to sing, whatever, just make sure that passion translates into wealth for you, right? So just to sum it all, on McCaffrey's question, I think I answered the first one. I've forgotten the second one. Just make sure that there's a perfect balance between the two. Don't rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Can you give me the second one again, the last question that you had?
I was asking if you've seen or noticed any trend in the new business model, or maybe you can speculate a new business model in the architectural side of you.
There are studies that are showing that it's serious that in less than 10 years, the architectural sphere, as we know it, will be transformed with the emergence of AI, right? A lot of things are being automated. And if you are not abreast with the times or abreast with the trends, you you find yourself wanting. You see that this boat passed me by and I didn't even see it. There are tools that can even quickly sketch a plan for you. There are AI tools that do working drawings now. There are AI tools that you can take your phone, you take a picture, and then it will render everything for you. Right? And this is the skill set that you are using 6 years to learn. Machine learning is giving you that in 15 seconds or less. So if you don't notice the trend that things are changing technologically, at the end of the day, you find yourself wanting. Is that not the case? That is why it comes back to creativity, because even that is subjective. But I feel like creativity is something that the AI cannot take from us. Right? So it's not just to scare anyone, but just move with the trends, be abreast with everything. Don't be caught lacking. For example, in the early 90s, right? People they were doing this kind of the drawings that we used to do in first year drafting, right? And then CAD came in, and then BIM came in, and now everything is BIM. The old time people who refuse to learn are stuck in their ways. Someone too learned AutoCAD. Right now we are moving to Revit. They did not move. Someone has learned Revit. Now people are using computational means to generate plans. That one too, you don't want to move. You become like the draftsman that you saw and then left there. So just look at architecture from a business standpoint. If you are in this to make money, even though you will say all the passionate things you want to say about architecture, but this is to make money. So move with the trends, move with the times. If not, you find yourself wanting. Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this is one of the most important things people are supposed to know.
All right. Thank you so much. I think I have one here from Kobe, Albert Kobe. So
yeah, Albert.
He says, I really appreciate this conference. I have realized that there are a lot of people in architecture, be it ASAG or GIA, we can leverage on. So we can leverage on ASAG or GIA. Okay, some people with these skills. I don't know if this question has already been asked, but to all panels, what advice do they have for young people in architecture who are looking for themselves, who are looking for themselves or advancing within this industry? So is there any advice for young people? I think this has been asked, but he later joined. So to all panel, is there any advice you have for Albert?
Yeah, Josie, would you like to take that?
Well, you see, how do I put this? I think this one is kind of individual based, because in as much as I agree with Cyrus, all his skills and all that, you will not find myself there, even though it is the business part of architecture. You find me being a middleman or a middlewoman. Right. Now, it still goes back to finding what you are good at. Right. I am not good with the technical stuff. And so then I'll pair up with, let's say, McAfee, who is a BIM boss. Right. Then when I get the jobs, I'll pass it on to McAfee. I'll be the middle person. I'll be the face of the job. Right. But then McAfee will be the one doing the work. Then we take the money. So if you want to advance in architecture, see, I say that when you go to Cantamanto, there are about 50 people lined up selling tomatoes. All of them get something and take home. Find your spot. No one is fighting with you over the spot. There are a lot of people in architecture, even the draftsmen are getting the job. Find where you fit. It might take some time, but find it. When you find it, leverage on that. That is it.
Fantastic point made. Fantastic point made. Does any of the panelists want to add anything to it?
Oh yeah, to add to that, I feel like this is something the question that Albert is asking is a very, very serious that I think needs its own conference on its own. A lot of people are in school and are finishing school and they're like, okay, from here on, what's next?
Yeah.
Right? It's a very, should I say scary feeling. Because from your infancy, from nursery, you know that you're going to kindergarten. From kindergarten, you know you're going to primary. You get to university. You finish national service. And then you
don't know what next.
You don't know what's next. Probably even the school has sucked out their passion and joy that you have in architecture from you.
Yeah.
Right, and you are doing it as just like a zombie. Like you are just doing it just to survive. I feel like with this, it becomes very dicey. But the whole point of it is that find yourself, find what you are passionate about. Right. In architecture, there are various ways of commercializing your skill. The richest architect that I've seen, the richest that I've gone to his sites, he's not even up to 33 years. If I mention his name, you know. I sometimes go to some of his projects and I'm like, he doesn't have any GIA, he's not working with any company. I go to his site and I'm like, wow, such a young guy. Right? When I was in first year, he was in like third year or fourth year. And he's the richest. And when I say richest, I mean he's made it. Right? He can do a certain project that he showed me that he charged $18,000 for. Crazy amount of money. And the advice that he gave me is that just whatever you are doing, do it with excellence. People will find you. Right? So if you are currently listening and you are in that limbo that you don't know what's next, after national service, what am I going to do? I'm in fourth year, what am I going to do? So there are even people, I think he's on the one of my friends that he after school he went to do internship somewhere. And the treatment, they were paying him very well. Actually, they were paying him very well for a national service person, I think 4,000 or so. After the experience, he said he won't work for anyone again. That joy of architecture has left him because of the treatment and the harsh conditions there. So it comes back to what I was saying. Find your passion and commercialize it. Whatever you are doing, just find it. It's not by force that you have to be a commercial architect. You can do interior design, you can do furniture design, you can do whatever. You can even be a consultant to a specific project. You can work in a school. You can just make sure that you are happy about it. That's all, and you are making money from it, obviously. That's what I'll add to that.
Please, can I check this in a bit? What Cyrus was saying kind of blew my mind to something. Please, see, I think it would be a lie when we tell you that we've all figured out our lives. There's no someone will come and say that, I use for this, let's say, chicken factory I use one feather, and the next day it's blew up into a chicken factory. It is not true, right? If it is possible, after school, take a leap year. If it is possible, just take a leap year and consider. But just as Cyrus said, everything has been programmed for us. It's one of the challenges that I face after school. What next? And please forget the first class you got, the second class you got. I'm sorry to say, I got a first class. Master, the employer does not care. the client does not care. If you have your first class and just as Cyrus said, your excellence is not there, you are a baller. I am sorry, right? And so if it's possible and you can afford it, take a VPA. For me, my VPS, I did my national service with Aki Shoes, which is my business brand. And so I didn't work for any company, right? I've been two years out of school or so. I've still not worked for a company. I'm sitting in my room doing stuff, right? So if it is possible, take a VPA and try at least get a headway. Even if it's just for a year, okay, maybe I can go in this direction. Don't just go on program like that. Otherwise, you'll be 60 years and you'll still be going according to the program. And bear in mind, please, you'll be frustrated. There'll be times when you sit down and you'll be wondering, am I actually doing the right things? My mother actually comes to me and be like, 86 years now, what are you using it for? Right? You'll be frustrated. That is you saying that, okay, I am actually not going according to the plans that the society has for me. I am going out of it. It is frustrating. There's no rule or guideline to it. So please, if you can afford it, take a break after school and look at your life going forward. Thank you.
Please, can I come in?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I really like the very last part of this program because what Josephine just said and then what title Cyrus is also saying is so perfect. It's so perfect. So one thing I would say is that life is already stress. Life is so stressful. So it's very important that in choosing your side hustle, choose something that you are passionate about. That whenever, even if no matter how long you do the thing, you can't even feel you are tired. And then when you are able to monetize those things, it becomes like you are just playing and then being paid. So it comes back to what he said that if you can sing, make sure you do it well, monetize it, just carve your niche around that. Because if you find yourself in a situation where you are working for somebody in a particular aspect that you are not really interested in, but you are getting the money, the fact that you are not happy about what you are doing will break you down. There are so many distractions and then issues coming from family side, friends, and then different aspects of life already. So in choosing your side business, and mostly you see people making more money from their side business compared to what they even learned in school. Me, my number one motivation is Pizza Man. I was very lucky to come across him when I was in, I just got finished back 4. So I've learned a lot from them. They are very first class students, but they are selling pizza. They are making more money than even our lecturers who started their firms long ago. Do you get it? So they are very intelligent and they are applying whatever they learned from school into what they are doing. It's not by force that you do or venture into whatever you've learned from school. Just find a problem or just work on your passion. Apply whatever you've learned from school. And you can see that from your architectural background, if you are selling pastries, it will be different from somebody who does not have architectural background. Right now, me and my wife, we are selling pastries, and we can see the difference.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see that her chemistry background and my architecture background is combining, is making the pastry a special one that you can't even find similar of that on campus. So you don't call yourself a failure if you are not practicing architecture. You can't do everything about architecture. You can even find one aspect of it and then work towards that. Or you can do something outside architecture, but apply your architectural knowledge and concepts into those things, and you can see the uniqueness in whatever you are doing. And the fact that he said, if you can afford, take a leap year is very important. Don't rush and jump from Act 4 to Act 1 because you're already stressed. Me, after Act 4, I could have gone to Act 1, but I was tired already. I went to do my service and I learned a lot. Okay, so this is what I will add to whatever we said already. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So insightful. I mean, unpacked from Cyrus to Josephine to McAfee. Charlie, so much insight. so inspiring. At this point, I don't think anybody has more questions because they've touched on almost everything that you really need to know, and this is fantastic. The comments are in here. Yeah, of course, this was a very fantastic conference. So the comments are also okay. So I think that at this Albert is well answered, and then he's okay with the responses that came. Kojo Kelvin Adoboy says that those last lines. Hello, Albert. Hello. Yeah, I hope you are answered.
Yes, please.
This one, yes. You've been over answered.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Kevin says that those last lines are very powerful. Move with the trends, move with the times. Thank you, Cyrus. Of course, I'm even going to update my status. Move with the trends, move with the times. Okay, that's fantastic. Very good point. The chemistry arc pastries. Oh, Charlie, guys. Okay, so that one is for myself. This conversation is serious. Chemistry and architecture. So chem arc pastries. Charlie, somebody has given you a business name. Think about it.
This one there, I already consider it, but I'm going to write it down.
And please, if you guys can marry early.
Yes, that one is very important.
These are married people.
Marry early.
Chem arc pastries. Charlie. Please, guys, you have to suggest some for okay, we have issues already, and then Cyrus didn't tell us about the background of the wife, so it will become difficult right now to suggest anything. But
Ask Square.
Oh, my wife is also in the architecture field.
Okay.
So
I know,
ask
but
Square.
It's architecture.
Okay. So
What's Josephine saying?
Ask Square. Ask Square.
Yes.
Oh my thing. Okay, that one is so good. Charlie Mark, people are smart.
Architect.
Architect. Okay, all right. Charlie. At this point, I don't think we have more questions. It's been a long night. I mean, from 6 to 12 past 8. Fantastic session we had this evening. The resource people were very, very resourceful tonight. And for me, I've written so much, I've learned a lot, and then I'm going to apply, of course. Some of the things, they really show like or sound like they were talking to me directly. And then I feel like, Charlie, it's now time to put all these things to action. And so in few days' time, in few months, in few years' time, if you see me coming up with something, just know that it's born out of this conference, it's all the things I've learned. And then I'm expecting that when it gets critical, because you guys give me the ideas and everything, when it gets critical, I'll be coming back to you, and it's not only me, all of us will be coming back to you, and you should be able to redirect us as of what next to do when we get started. I'm sure you fantastic people are open to training and mentoring the young ones that are coming up. So this video is recorded, it will be shared. Some people might be interested in learning about the shoe business. Others will be interested in learning about the drone, which is very, very important. McAfee would have to come to you to learn how to make the pastries and all those things. And when we come, we are coming as learners, we are coming as interns and all that. And we expect that we should be able to admit as we are asking, using this conference to beg and ask of you that whenever anybody from this conference comes, or some kind of help and assistance in going about their own business and then learning this new skill.
We are always open.
And so I want to especially thank you so much, McAfee. Okay, McAfee has said he's always open. I want to get from the last two, so I'll be very sure 100%. Cyrus, are you always open?
Oh yes. I mean, if anyone wants to learn, you can take a look at my page. If it's something that you feel like you are interested in, I'm actually usually around tech because I'm in Konongo. I pass by tech every day and I shoot outside very often. If you are interested in learning,
okay,
just give me a DM.
All right, fantastic. Okay. First of all, you need to come in a garment of I'm interested to learn, because you have to learn. Yeah. So just Ojo, are you also okay?
Oh, for me right now, the opportunity I've opened up is affiliate marketing. So if you want to make, because you are still in school, it somehow might not be reasonable that you come and learn and already you are making shoes within 2 weeks, right? So if you want to make a little side money on campus, I have the affiliate marketing part of it. You get the client, I make the shoes for you, you sell, you make your commission of it. At least you get something for doing nothing, right? So
okay,
there's that part.
that's good. Thank you so much. I really, really want to appreciate all of you tonight for making time to actually inspire and teach us on these crucial and important topics that is on everyone's mind. I mean, this is a very thoughtful of all of you. I mean, it's a social responsibility kind of thing, and you guys have just executed it in the best way possible. There wouldn't have been any better way, and this is just the beginning. I want to really appreciate the organizers of this show, this conference, and everything we had tonight. Some good people really sat down, thought about it, and think that we all need to have this information. They didn't just call these 3 people solo and then lens, and then they decided that let's put it out there so everybody will know. I really want to appreciate the organizers of this thing, Daniel Good, Cornelius, and everybody behind the scene that has worked for this to be successful. I appreciate you guys so much. And then for me, I like to learn and I like to impact in any way I can help. And having people also sharing the same goal, the same ideas and everything gives me a lot of joy and gives me hope that in future or going forward, it's going to get better. So I really appreciate you guys so much. It's been an honor to be the host and to do this. I'm so glad and I'll be happy to do it going forward. I appreciate all of you. I would like for Daniel to say anything and also to give us a vote of thanks. Daniel, please, can you do as the honors?
Thank you very much, our lovely host. Okay, so I'd like to thank Josephine and Cyrus and Mr. Wiredu and Mr. McAfee for taking time out of their busy schedule to impact us with knowledge. And I believe that it will go a long way. I've learned so much. I've jotted so many things down, and I believe that it's important to be having such conversations often. So, and I would like to also add that this meeting has been in the books for a very long time now, and fortunately we've been able to have it. So we thank God so much for that, and we hope that if you guys are being called upon in another way or form, I know there will be a lot of requests to have a part 2 of this kind of meeting. So kindly look forward to it. Even if it's not later this year, it can be early next year. So once again, thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. And thank you all the people who were able to join in whatever way or form. The audio will be available soon. Even the video will be available soon, even on YouTube. So yeah, we are going global with this information. And thank you once again, our Mr. Excellent host. And we look forward to more partnership. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Daniel. God bless you so much. And then, of course, everybody's looking forward to the next big thing and the next one that you're going to organize. We are all looking forward to it. Before we go, I want to take an inspirational quote, and then, of course, we started with a prayer, so we'll definitely end with a prayer. I want to take an inspirational quote from random. Okay, 2 men. No, let me go for the lady. Okay, Josephine, any inspirational quote for us?
Okay, so please. Ecclesiastes 9 will let you understand that time and chance happens to all of us. We will all get the opportunity, whether you are rich, you are poor, you are in a middle class, what. We'll all get the opportunity at a point. It is up to you to prove yourself worthy and to use that opportunity well. So don't really fret if probably you see your colleagues in quotes doing well more than you, because somehow they're also sitting back thinking that you're also doing well, and you're here kind of crying over nothing, right? So please, time and chance will happen to you. When it comes, use it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Time and chance will happen to all of us. Get ready for yours.